Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. This is our week 4 best bets episode. For those of you guys who saw last episode,
Yes,
you
sir.
saw it. You saw it. The cash counter was popping. I saw Dynell, saw a bunch of viewers. Listen, we cleaned up on Thursday Night Football.
Yes, we
Okay?
did.
The under hit, CD Lamb touchdown hit, CD Lamb yards hit, Malik Neighbors yards hit, Malik Neighbors receptions, Wandell Robinson receptions, the parlay hit. And last but not least, my second biggest bet of the year, Dak Prescott over 1.5 touchdown passes hit. We're in so much of a driver's seat right now. This is the week that we get it turned around. The 2-3 curse ends here. But
Let's go.
before we get into our 5 best bets of the week, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude, Now, welcome back, man. Talk to me.
Yeah. What's going on, my guy? Welcome back for another week 4 showdown, bro. Like you said, 2-3 curse. Yeah, it's ending this week. No doubt about it. Represent for my Miami Hurricanes. They playing right now against Virginia Tech. We're getting into it. Hey, what's up, Chopper? Hey, buddy. But other than that, man, we're gonna let's get right back into it, man. Let's bounce back. Let's show the viewers. Hey, Chopper, again, buddy. All right, get back down. But nah, we're definitely gonna get live into it, bro. I'm ready. Let's talk some football and let's tell everybody what the fuck we cooked up this week, man. Cause we brought the shovel this week.
We got one ugly dog, one big favorite, 2 short lines, and then a bounce back spot. Little foreshadowing. You might have figured it out. Let's not dilly dally anymore, Dynell. Let's get right into it.
Let's go.
The first pick of our best bets is none only than the Indianapolis Colts plus 1.5. We are getting a short line in the contest. Unfortunately, they're up to 2.5 some books. It doesn't matter. The Colts win this game. If I ask you this question a month ago, if I said the Steelers would be the number 1 team in the AFC North, would you believe me? No,
Absolutely
because
not.
we all were expecting regression on the Steelers team. They had no identity at quarterback. They really had no identity on offense. The defense is the defense. That's the heart and soul of the team. But my question to you is, do the Colts finally figure it out and score 20 points this week?
Oh yeah.
If the answer to that question is yes, then I don't think there's a reason to question this pick. I think the Colts win this game. I think the Colts win this game big. I think Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson are finally going to get on the same page, the wheels turning, and I'm expecting a big game from this passing offense. I really think Anthony Richardson has just kind of had some mental blunders. They get behind in games. He forces some passes. I'm looking for Shane Steichen to get some confidence back in this young quarterback and manage the game. We know Anthony Richardson has a cannon. We know he likes the deep plays, but he needs to understand that the way that you beat the Steelers is by maintaining possession, taking the points, and not giving the ball back, because this Steelers defense will wear you down. So, with that being said, I think this is a great spot for the Colts. It's buy low. We're selling high on the Steelers. Give us the Colts at home plus 1.5.
No doubt. Like I said, I'm right on board with you. Let's just talk about the Steelers for a second, right? And they get off to a 3-0 start. Everybody's kind of hype, and I understand it. Justin Fields has been playing really, really good. Honestly, I think he's the same quarterback, just in a way better system, and way better coaching. Let's be honest with you. The coaching has elevated his game. But let's talk about the facts here. As much as I like the Steelers so far this year and the way they came out, you played against the Chargers, boom, but I mean, you played at home with Justin Herbert hurt. He got knocked out the game. You saw what happened there. We was all on that last week. You go on the week before that. We was on the Steelers and Steelers going against Bo Nix. And if you're a rookie quarterback, bro, you're going to have a tough time against that defense. They put up 6 points for a reason, and he had multiple turnovers, all right? That's what they're known for. That's Pittsburgh's great defense. Then you go to the first game of the season against the Falcons, and that was Kirk Cousins' first game from an Achilles injury in over a calendar year plan. So once again, bro, we're talking about the Steelers in very presumptuous situations. I feel like this is going to be a little bit more of a difficult task, knowing the fact that There's a healthy quarterback, unlike week 1. Okay, he has a cannon, unlike weeks 2 and 3. So it's gonna be a little bit. I think it's gonna be a grit and grind type game. This is not gonna be a high scoring game by all means. I just feel like the Steelers are not gonna benefit from good field position like they have the first 3 weeks. And I feel like Anthony Richardson's going to have a little bit of explosiveness that the Steelers have not seen before at all this year. Yes, we like TJ Watt, but you try to tackle Anthony Richardson, good luck. The same thing as with Kyler Murray and all these mobile quarterbacks. Good luck trying to sack him to the ground. I expect the game to kind of be fluent. I feel like the game's just sped up for Anthony Richardson right now. But I expect Shane Steichen to get this team back slow, grind it, run the ball, RPO, get the hands out quick. And you know what I'm saying? When them D-shots come, them D-shots are going to come. I just need AR-15 to just slow down the gun a little bit and be able to take them short passes, man, because that's going to make the difference of this game. I believe in them this week. We believed in them all year this year. It's been a bumpy road, but I believe in them this week, especially as a dog at home.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game is going to be like a 17-16 coin flip. I think it's going to be an ugly, low-scoring game. It's going to be a lot of kicking. I'm going to take the home dog. I mean,
Yes,
me and Dynell love home dogs, and this is no different. So give us the Colts. Next up, we've got the Atlanta Falcons -1.5. This is a spot where we kind of saw the identity of the New Orleans Saints last week.
Oh, yeah.
They are if you can get to the outside, which Matthew Judon has been doing an awesome job for the Falcons this year, but if you can get to the outside and contain the run, the Saints are limited to deep balls. And they didn't connect on any last week. They had a one Olave out route that kind of gave them a touchdown against the Birds. But realistically, we're not big on this Saints team. They came out and they were showing off, and I think they're coming back down to earth. Dynell, my favorite phrase, Derek Carr turned back into a pumpkin last week.
Yes, sir.
And Eric McCoy, their starting center, is out.
Huge.
That is not a household name, but that is that's the leader of the offensive line. He's the guy who touches the ball just as much as the quarterback. I mean, there is no other person on that line that is more important than Eric McCoy. Him being gone puts all the protections back on Derek Carr. He's got to call everything out. He's got to shift the line. He's got so much more responsibility, and on top of all that, Alvin Kamara's banged up. And this line has went from -1.5 in our contest, and on those standard books, it's up to almost 3 in some places.
Right.
So that's kind of telling to me you're buying the Kamara injury news. You're buying this Atlanta team that they need a win. The Atlanta Falcons should, looking at their schedule, they might not lose another home game this year. They're back in Atlanta. They're in the Dome. Kirk Cousins off of a primetime loss to Patrick Mahomes. I think this is a big Atlanta spot. I like them. I've actually bet them all the way up to -6.5. I think this is a good spot for them. Let's hope Kamara is out. If Kamara is out, obviously we're going to love it even more. But regardless, we're getting a short line to contest. Atlanta -1.5. Dynell, what did I miss?
You didn't really miss much. I guess the biggest talking point for me is when we talk about the Falcons, right? And we talk about the way they lost to the Steelers in week 1. That was a completely disadvantage, all right? So let's talk about that. Kirk Cousins coming off of an injury against TJ Watt in that defense. Okay, that was bound to happen anyway. But what you start to see the last couple of weeks is Kirk Cousins starting to find it and get into his groove. I mean, like I said, you're starting to see before your very own eyes. Drake London, hey man, like I said, she's showing up a little bit. He had about 30 to 40 receiving yards the last game, but that opened up Darnell Mooney. That opened up Darnell Mooney on the other side. And Bijan Robinson is the fucking, I mean, he's the offense. He's the tank of the offense anyway as it is, right? So we're talking about the Falcons in a situation to where they're going against a Saints team who, to be honest with you, I thought were frauds from the beginning. We talked about how there was frauds throughout the year. And you've seen it. That Philadelphia defense got exposed the first 3 weeks, and there was lots of questions about if Philadelphia can do it. And I said it myself on camera. I was scared to take the Eagles last week because of that. That was non-existent last week. Once Eric McCoy got out the game, it just seemed like the offense just fell apart. Derek Carr went back to missing throws. I mean, let's keep it at the end of the day. He missed throws, right? And I feel like Saints fans were riding a high the first 2 weeks, and I think they're starting to see it again. Oh boy, here we go, right back to the same situation. And this Atlanta defense is vastly improved. If you want to talk about consistency, this Falcons defense has been the one consistent thing for the Falcons this past year, other than Bijan Robinson getting over 100 rushing receiving yards. So we're talking about a game where at 1.5, to me, that's a steal. I feel like the books are still boosting the Saints a little bit more than what they should. I feel like the Falcons take control of the division this game, and there's no doubt in my mind the Falcons win this game.
I love it. Dino, why don't you give them the third pick of the week?
Yes, sir. Third pick. We going out to L.A. Them Chargers, boy, plus 8.5. Big dog against who? Patrick Mahomes. And if you guys followed us for the last 3 years, you know we were doing this, okay? You know we were doing this. We never take Patrick Mahomes on big spreads. We always fade Patrick Mahomes on big spreads, no matter how good or bad the team is. One thing Patrick Mahomes is good at is finding ways to win, and I will give him that. Big spreads, that's not what they're about. Ever since Tyreek Hill left, what are we talking about here? Travis Kelce has not turned the corner yet, and that's concerning to me. No Isaiah Pacheco. You're right. You're with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Kareem Hunt. Those are the two. Then you guys, right now, they're on a train right now. They're replacing the running backs they replaced them with. And since that running back is out, the replacements are back in place. That is ridiculous. So right now, I feel like they got a little turmoil going on there. I don't believe other than Rashee Rice, I don't believe any receiver right now as it is. Maybe Travis Kelce might come back around. But at the end of the day, I get the Chargers are banged. I get Justin Herbert's a little banged up. I get that. But as long as J.K. Dobbins can keep that running game steady, get the ball out quick, just eat time, and we've seen it. Like it's sometimes it's inexplicable how these games are at 7.5, 6.5, 8.5, 9.5, and for some reason the Chiefs can't cover it. You take your spots, take the trends. That's what we're all about anyway. You take the big dog here in this situation. Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes historically has not covered against especially this Chargers team. This Chargers team, I think since Justin Herbert's come into the league, he hasn't covered one time against Patrick Mahomes. I think it was his rookie season. Mm-hmm. So this is just a numbers thing. Do we feel great about it? No. Absolutely not. No. But we have a new culture. We have that Michigan gritty culture. Mm-hmm. You still have J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Justin Herbert is expected to play, so that's great. And, it's just going to be go out there and grind. Like, we saw the Chiefs last week against the Falcons. Patrick Mahomes turn the ball over just outside of the red zone. There's not as much fluidness to this Chiefs offense. It's big play here, big play there, move the ball, take your points. So we're hoping the Chargers just don't go down 21-zip in the first quarter, which there's a lot of backcourt potential.
When's the last time the Chiefs done that?
Exactly. So we know what's going to happen. The Chiefs probably go out there, score first. It's a bang field goals back and forth. Chargers backdoor cover, and it's like a 6-point game. So we've seen this before. We're going to play the trend. We're not going to get greedy. We're just going to take the points with the Chargers. It's down to 7 in a lot of books. I'd play them at 7. So we got the Chargers plus 8.5. Mm-hmm. Our fourth pick in the contest, I foreshadowed it at the intro, is none only than Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals minus 4.5. I know you're shocked. We're shocked. This was the last minute at the line of scrimmage audible, and Dynell and I pulled the trigger. We just think there's too much value in the spot. This is as low of a buy spot as possible, probably in the Cincinnati Bengals Joe Burrow era, as there's possibly been. Historically, the Bengals start off absolutely slow, and they're one of the slowest teams to get going. They don't cover spreads, they don't win games, and we thought there might have been a little bit of difference and variation for this Bengals team because Joe Burrow was healthy. However, there just seems to be too much locker room drama. But what we did see, the Bengals put up points last week. It took a probably historic rookie performance in Jaden Daniels to not only cover, but to win outright. And I feel like there is a different sense of urgency in the Cincinnati Bengals team. They have a different look on this division because they're not out of it. The Ravens are struggling. The Browns, struggling. The Steelers are about to come back down to earth, so this is the Bengals' opportunity to jump back in the driver's seat and take control of this division. They have to win this game. They have to make a statement, and I know what a lot of you guys are saying, but Andy Dalton, I don't care. Okay? This Bengals team has more talent on the offense than the Panthers do on the entirety of the team. So, I don't care. If we get burned again, we get burned again, but there is not a possibly low spot than the Bengals this week. This is buying the absolute lowest position possible in this team, and I feel like we have to do it based on value.
Most certainly. And I'm going to add on to that, too. And I get it. People might be shocked because, like I said, the game against the Commanders should have been a slam dunk win, and granted, they came away with the loss, but that offense still put up 33 points. One thing I was right about. I was right about that.
I don't think there was any punts in that game.
There was not one punt, not one field goal either, right? I don't think he made it because I know Evan McPherson. No, there was field goals. There were field goals.
Yeah.
I think Evan McPherson hit 2 later on, or 1 in the game.
Yeah, Bengals stalled out.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. When we talk about the Commanders, and I get it, because I never understood why people were down on Jaden Daniels to begin with. When they were talking about, the rookie quarterbacks have 0 touchdowns, 6 interceptions through 3 games. Are they ready? 2 games. Are they ready? Da 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 da. If you take Jaden Daniels away from that stat, you still have 0 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So I don't know why the hell he was even grouped in that situation as a whole. And on top of that, before that game, he produced 11 scoring drives for the Commanders. And when you put that into that perspective, how many teams have put together 11 scoring drives for the first 2 weeks? Now add those 8 scoring drives from week 3. He produced 19 scoring drives in 3 weeks. Absolutely ridiculous. Not many teams are doing that. So let's take that out the picture. I don't believe that Panthers had a great week last week. I get it. The red rifle came back. He did what he was supposed to do. I understand that. But granted, I don't expect them to keep up with the Bengals offense. I feel like Jaden Daniels was just way too efficient. That type of efficiency cannot be replicated. The one thing the Bengals defense did do was they did stop the run. Brian Robinson only had 30 rushing yards throughout the whole entire game. So let's take it from that perspective. And you got to roll with, like I said, you just got to roll with the value. Talent, value. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are back 1 and 2. They're back in sync. And that's the one thing, that was one of my concerns early in the year. T. Higgins didn't have the greatest game, but he came back from injury last week. He's going to get back into fruition. He's going to be in week 2. I feel like this may be a blowout. Andy Dalton is going to have to make a perfect game like Jaden Daniels did for them to keep up in the game, and I don't think that's going to happen. Especially, like I said, especially with the talent on the out. Especially with the talent. There is not enough talent to keep up with the Cincinnati Bengals on that team.
Yeah, so I definitely agree. I think the Cincinnati Bengals roll here. I think they get back on track, and I feel like we see a different team this week. Mm-hmm. I think this honeymoon stage for the Panthers after last week, Adam Thielen gone, that's huge. Adam Thielen was the guy who caught that big-ass touchdown pass to give the Panthers an even larger lead. Like, with Adam Thielen gone, there is already very minimal depth on that offense, and he is just another piece of the puzzle that's going to be missing. So I agree with Dynell. I think the Bengals roll here. And last, but not least,
definitely not least,
the New York Jets -7.5 playing against the Denver Broncos. I know what you're thinking. The Broncos defense +7.5 plus the hook. This is a bad spot, offensively and defensively, for the Denver Broncos. The Broncos may not score a touchdown, and I feel like we kind of saw a different offense from the Jets last week. Aaron Rodgers made some incredible passes. Garrett Wilson and him seem to be on the same damn page. And obviously Patrick Surtain, he's out there. But we saw Allen Lazard was playing a much larger role than I think we all anticipated. Mike Williams was getting targets in the red zone. Tyler Conklin, he's running down the middle of the field free. And we still have Breece Hall. I'm telling you, this may get ugly. This may be one of the ugliest games of the week. And I'll say this. If the Broncos score 2 touchdowns, I will come on here and tell you I'm an idiot. Because they're not doing it. No. I just don't see a path for the Broncos to consistently get into scoring position. I think the Jets roll here. I think this is the one big spread that we must play. And 7.5, it's almost like the books are begging you to take the Broncos. So we're not going to fall into that trap, Dynell.
No, sir. And let's be honest. Remember, I talked about it earlier. Bo Nix and the rookie quarterback going against the Steelers defense. You see what he did. Good Lord, he looked bad. He looked really bad. And to be honest with you, the difference with the Jets defense now is that the fact that this offense is finally rolling, they can actually sit the fuck down and take a break. I mean, god damn. I mean, it's about time. Last week was literally a breath of fresh air for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers got outside the pocket multiple times, and threw that fucking pill like we've seen Aaron Rodgers done it. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, Aaron Rodgers is back to his old ways. I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is, for him to be able to get outside the pocket and throw the ball was probably the biggest thing the Jets fan base and all the NFL need to see, okay? Like I said, him and Garrett Wilson, like that. Alan Lazard, like that. Breece Hall, he's a monster in the backfield. And I don't think with the way this Jets offense is moving right now and the way they're cooking. Like I said, remember I talked about Kirk Cousins getting his shit back straight. Aaron Rodgers is doing the same thing now. They're starting to get things rolling. I feel like this is going to be it's going to be mounds of points put on the Broncos, only considering the fact that the Broncos defense won't be able to get a rest. I feel like Bo Nix once again is going to struggle. And let's be honest, you got to back this defense with this great offense right now. That's what we've been waiting to see. That's the Jets we've been waiting to see. This is the Jets that Jared has foreseen about them winning the division right here. So I'm definitely banging 7.5. This got to be the big number we got to play here. And I mean, honestly, Aaron Rodgers in 1 week made me a firm believer that this team can go out there and handle business this coming Sunday.
Yeah, he definitely passed the eye test last week. Getting outside the pocket, looked good, ran a few times, took a couple hits, and no hesitation to get back up, no grunt. Like, bro, he looked good. So
look at Conklin. I didn't even think about that. Look at Conklin came out. I mean, Conklin had 95 receiving yards. I mean, the man came out the
running
ball.
Down the field.
Yeah,
with nobody in sight. Like, I'm saying there is a path to this Jets defense to absolutely wipe the floor with the Broncos. And here's the comparison that I have in my head. Do you remember when the Jets played the Niners on Monday Night Football, and it just felt like the Niners were always on the field on offense? I feel like that is the medicine that the Jets are going to give to the Broncos. I feel like the Broncos defense is always going to be on the field because they're not going to be able to get first downs, and the Jets are just going to first down, nickel and dime them until next thing you know, the Jets have 15 more minutes of possession in the game. So, give us the Jets.
Yes, sir. All day long.
All right, let's wrap it up. 5 favorite picks of the week. Colts plus 1.5. Falcons minus 1.5. Bengals minus 4.5. Jets minus 7.5. And the Chargers plus 8.5. Obviously, we're not doing any Survivor because Survivor to start the year. I mean, if you're still in the Survivor, round of applause to you.
Kudos, y'all
Kudos.
got it.
Because it didn't matter what you picked for the first 2 weeks. You were probably losing. But that's going to do it for us. Thanks for sticking around. For those of you guys wondering what the next episode is going to be, it is again going to be the Thursday Night Football. Dynell and I are going to do that for the next few weeks, see how we like it. We're going to get back on track with these best bets. We're sitting at 6 and 9 in the contest currently. We're not that far out of the cash line, so we just need a couple big weeks, get us back on track, and it starts right here. Dynell, any last words for the viewers?
Nope. Same messages every time, knuckleheads, on every podcast. Make sure you guys tune in on X for us at @ShredTheSpread_. And then give me a shout too. Like I said, I don't know what's up with my button. I'm gonna get this fixed one day, bro. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get that shit back fixed. At Dyneezy, DYNEEZY. We're getting back into it. We're getting back live. Like I said, man, we were hot. Thursday Night Football, great bets last night. We definitely won me some money. So yeah, it's time to set up for a good Sunday.
He said it best for the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm Jared. He's Dynell, and for our awesome producer Tyler behind the scenes. Until we see you next week for Thursday Night Football. Thanks for watching.
Peace.